Start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. The Kyrie rumors heating up yesterday. Dan Le Batard asked if the Miami Heat would be better off going after Kyrie instead of waiting around for Kevin Durant, to which Frank Isola tweeted, quote, "From what I've heard, Kyrie for Kyle Lowry, not out of the question." Nick, would you do this if you were Miami?
If I'm Pat Riley, and I know I don't have many years left running this team, at some point Pat Riley's going to have to retire and enjoy the spoils of 50 years of labor in the NBA. He's got the great house in Malibu. He's got the great spot in Florida. So he's probably only got a little bit of time left running the Heat. I think I roll the dice and do it. I think I understand it might blow up the team. I understand Kyrie has left havoc in his wake, but I also understand we are a very good team that is not good enough, and we can get the exact type of player we need on the court-wise for pennies on the dollar. You're not going to be able to get someone of Kyrie's scoring ability and talent at this low of a price unless they have massive baggage or other issues. So if I'm Miami, I'd probably do it, assuming I miss out on Durant and I miss out on Donovan Mitchell. He would be my third option. But, Brew, I want to put this to you a different way. And I know you are still holding out hope that your beloved Brooklyn Nets don't break up. However, the papers have been served, and they have, they're looking at apartments up the street so they can still see the kids, and the movers have been scheduled. So let's just assume for a moment that Kevin Durant is traded. And you're the Nets, and you've decided, okay, Durant's gone. We are not keeping Kyrie Irving alongside it. And you have two offers on the table, and they both involve a 2027 first-round pick. Kyle Lowry and a pick for Kyrie Irving, or Russell Westbrook and a pick for Kyrie Irving. Because if Kevin Durant were there, I would rather have Lowry. If you were keeping Durant and trading, I would rather have Lowry play with him than Russ. But if Kevin Durant is gone, I think the better option for the Nets would be Russell Westbrook, because his contract's shorter, he's younger, and there's a chance he can reclaim some of the magic of the Wizards year a year ago. So that's my question to you. If you're the Nets and KD's gone, you're trading Kyrie, which of those two offers would you take?
All right, Nick. How dare you talk about me as if I'm desperately, embarrassingly holding on to this notion that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving might be back in Brooklyn, when you're holding on even tighter to this notion that Kyrie's going to get traded to the Lakers. So you come up with this question, let's assume Durant's traded, and the answer to that, if you put me in that situation, which I don't think is going to happen, I'll take Russell Westbrook. All right, I would take Russell Westbrook. I'd rather have Russell Westbrook's 1 year than Kyle Lowry's 2 years if I've got no chance to win. But to be honest, if Durant leaves, is traded, I don't have to make either of those moves. In fact, you know what? I don't. I would, to your question, I would take Russ, but there's another option. And the other option is keeping Kyrie. Kyrie knows, all right, that he has got to come out and play well, that he's got to be a good soldier, he's got to show up on time, he's got to not take hiatuses for national tragedies and stuff like that. So I think you're going to get the best of Kyrie Irving this year wherever he's at. And he still is box office, he still is fun to watch and exciting and terrific. So in that case, Nick, I still wouldn't give you up your dream. You still wouldn't get Kyrie to the Lakers. Kyrie would still be in Brooklyn. And here's the deal with the Heat thing, Wilds. Look, as much as I like Kyrie, we know about his problems. And if I'm the Nets and the Heat, first of all, I want more than Kyle Lowry. I want Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero. Yeah, because I'm getting back a 36-year-old Lowry and a huge talent deficit between him and Kyrie. Give me Tyler Hero, too. I'm making you a contender. Give me Tyler Hero. I look at that deal, and I go to Kevin Durant and say, look, with Lowry, he's a leader. He's more stable. You can count on him. He's won a championship. we will now be a more stable franchise, and we get a 20-point score in Tyler Hero. Is that enough to keep you here in Brooklyn and make you smile about it? If so, I might think about that, Wilds. I might think about that. But, Nick, you're not slick.
I like it.
You ain't slick.
Go ahead,
man.
Nick.
Your hair is
Can I just
slick,
respond?
but you ain't
Can
slick.
I respond for a moment?
Yeah, I want you to. It was a great.
Listen, the Kyrie to the Lakers thing is not something I created. It's not something I am trying to speak into existence. It is something all of the people who are covering the league have treated as a fait accompli. And there have been these various reports that are clearly the Nets trying to gain leverage. Oh, Philly's interested. No, they weren't. Oh, Dallas is interested. No, they weren't. And now you have Frank Isola saying that Miami might be interested. Maybe Miami is. I trust Frank's reporting. I also think the Nets are trying to create leverage where they have none. But Wilds, Brew just operates in this negotiation world that's in one of those dimensions or universes that we just saw on the fancy new telescope, where it's like, hey, this is how we're doing business. You want Kyrie Irving? Give me Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is the big piece they would be giving up to get Kevin Durant. Like you always come up with these hypothetical trades. You're like, here's what I would want. The other team would hang up on you. Kyrie has no market. It's why he's going to be traded for Russell Westbrook and a 14-year-old to be named later. That is going to happen. Like, the idea that you're going to be able to pry Tyler Hero from Miami is just flatly not going to happen. So, yes, I do believe. It's not that I'm holding on hope, Donovan Mitchell. I understand why it feels like an obvious no-brainer. But I want to just show the picks, Brew, quickly that the Knicks have. Because the 8 picks, so here's what they have. What I want people to understand is the Pistons and Wizards picks are so heavily protected, it's possible they never convey that they're just second rounders. And if they do convey, it is impossible that they are ever in the top 10. They are top 10 protected for 5 years and more protected, and then they turn into second rounders. Here's why I mentioned that, Brew. What Ainge is going to want is the Knicks' own picks, unprotected in 27, 29, swap in 28. That is going to be the real bounty for the Jazz. And that is risky business if you're the New York Knicks, to give away unprotected picks of your own. And when Donovan Mitchell, Antoine mentioned it, has 3 years left on his deal. There's a world that exists where this doesn't work out, and the Knicks have no ability to get back to relevance. And so I think they'll do it if they can make the deal. But I think it is far more risky than Wilds and Antoine seem to believe. I would be very squeamish if I were a Knicks fan.
Well, look, it's just you're right about Utah. Excuse me, and Ainge clearly wants Big Vic. All right, he is just totally tanking next season. If I'm the Knicks, you look at the players, and with all due respect to Nick, your guy Quentin Grimes, they can have those guys. And 5, because he said he wants the majority of the 8 picks. That means 5. All right, so the Knicks have 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. So that still gives them 6 picks in the next 7 years. The question, Nick, to your point, is which first-round picks? All right, I would be hesitant to give him all my own picks in case this doesn't work out. But they're gonna have to come to some compromise where some of those picks are the protected picks they got from the other teams. And so ultimately though, Twan is right. How are you getting better if you're the Knicks? I mean, you're gonna luck up with one of these picks, maybe. But that's not likely. You've already gone in on Jalen Brunson. You got R.J. Barrett improving. They'll probably keep him. You got Julius Randle. Like, are they going to be bad enough to get the top pick? Probably not. And so I do think ultimately 5 first-round picks, that plethora of players they want, and I get to keep R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson to team with Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Randle. That's not a bad squad.
Not bad.
50 wins.
Well, hey,
the East is really